What happens when one of Hollywood's most cherished underdogs comes face to face with late-night television's most controversial host? A confrontation unfolds that leaves audiences stunned and one A-list actor walking off the set in frustration. This isn't your typical celebrity interview gonorrhea. This is a collision of fame, ego, and hidden agendas playing out live before millions. At the heart of it all, Sylvester Stallone and Jimmy Kimmel in a showdown that no one saw coming. The mood was electric in Studio 6A that evening. Sylvester Stallone, promoting his latest directorial effort, entered the studio to enthusiastic cheers and camera flashes. He seemed at ease, fully expecting a warm, standard promotional interview. Jimmy Kimmel, with his usual smirk, welcomed Stallone with his signature flair. "Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the one and only Sylvester Stallone." Stallone took his seat, waving to fans and offering the kind of heartfelt smile that had won over generations. But the tone shifted quickly. "Sly, great to have you here," Kimmel began, but something in his delivery felt off, laced with a barely disguised condescension. "Watching your movies over the years has been quite the journey. Rocky, Rambo, all those sequels. Do you ever get tired of playing the same character over and over?" It wasn't the typical light-hearted opening most guests receive. Stallone replied with grace, emphasizing the deeper themes of his iconic characters, but Kimmel interrupted, suggesting that Stallone's persona was a tired act. "How many times can you reinvent the guy who talks funny and punches things?" The studio fell silent. Stallone, visibly taken aback, calmly clarified that his speech wasn't an affectation, it was a result of complications at birth. But Kimmel continued, dismissing Stallone's words and implying it was all for show. "We're all friends here. You can admit the mumbling tough guy thing is part of the act." Stallone's tone shifted. "This is who I am, Jimmy," he said with controlled intensity. "I'm not sure why you're taking this approach with me tonight." Feigning innocence, Kimmel brushed it off as typical late-night humor. But the jabs kept coming. "Not everyone gets to coast on nostalgia forever. Some of us have to be funny every single night." That was the moment the mood changed completely. Stallone leaned forward, his voice steady but loaded with conviction. "I came here to talk about filmmaking, about stories that matter or not to be insulted." Kimmel's smile tightened. "Sly, this is late-night television. If you can't handle a few tough questions, a broken bar." Stallone's reply cut through the tension like a blade. "A joke is supposed to be funny. What you're doing isn't comedy. It's cruelty. And I don't have to sit here and be part of it." The crowd froze. Kimmel tried to regain control with sarcasm, but the damage was done. Stallone stood, voice rising only slightly but packed with authority. "I've written, directed, and starred in films that inspired millions. What have you created, Jimmy, besides a platform to mock people who've accomplished something?" Kimmel tried to laugh it off. "Washed-up action stars need somewhere to pretend they're still relevant." Stallone wasn't fazed. "Apollo Creed was a character played by a man who became my friend. We told stories about respect. You wouldn't understand that, or you confuse conflict with destruction." Kimmel defended his tactics, claiming provocation was part of his role. But Stallone wasn't letting go. "There's a difference between asking tough questions and being disrespectful. Decent human beings know that." "Apparently, you don't." Kimmel's polished persona cracked. "At least I'm honest about what I do." Stallone responded with quiet intensity. "You want honesty? You invited me here under false pretenses. Your producers said you were a fan, that this was a genuine conversation. Was any of that true?" Kimmel offered a weak excuse about interviews evolving naturally. Stallone pressed harder. "Did you plan this? Did you decide to tear me down for ratings?" The host's usual wit abandoned him. Stallone continued, "You've built a career mocking others. But what have you created that's truly yours? What's your Rocky, your Rambo? What have you done that makes people believe in themselves?" Kimmel fumbled for a response. Stallone didn't wait. "You've created a platform for cynicism. You've made mockery look like humor. That's your legacy." Finally, Kimmel lashed out. "You came expecting people to kiss your feet. News flash, it's not the 80s anymore." Stallone smiled, but not kindly. You think this is an act? This is me refusing to be disrespected for your audience's amusement. Kimmel tried to shift blame, saying the audience came for both of them. Stallone turned to the crowd. How many of you came here hoping to see your host ambush his guest? No hands went up. How many of you are proud of what you witnessed tonight? Silence. Kimmel's face went pale. Stallone's words landed with precision. You had a chance tonight to show growth, to show that you're better than this. Instead, you chose cruelty. Kimmel tried to save face. Maybe I came on a little strong. A little strong? Stallone echoed. You mocked my speech, dismissed my life's work, and treated me like a relic. I was just doing my job. No, Jimmy. Your job is to entertain, to make people laugh, not feel uncomfortable. To be a host and not a tormentor. With his usual defenses gone, Kimmel sat silently as Stallone delivered one final truth. Your job should be to lift people up, not tear them down. To create, not destroy. But you've turned this show into an arena where you play emperor. And tonight, the audience saw through it. Kimmel's producers scrambled off camera, desperate to regain control. Kimmel muttered something about going to commercial. No, Stallone said. We're finishing this. Kimmel made one final attempt to defend himself. I do my show the way I always have. And that's the problem, Stallone replied. You thought humiliating someone would make great television, but it didn't work. I'm not most guests. And tonight, people saw that. And in that moment, the balance shifted. Not in favor of ratings or viral clips, but in favor of authenticity, of someone refusing to be diminished, no matter the setting.